Welcome to the slideshow on Spreadsheet Analytics. The AV is presented by Jitendra Toma, a corporate training consultant, and is designed at JT Design Studio. Let us explore the topic.
Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something you probably use every single day, the humble spreadsheet. But we're not just going to talk about rows and columns. No, we're going to transform it from a simple data table into an absolute powerhouse for finding incredible insights. So let's get into it.
All right, check this out. Pretty impressive, right? This dashboard looks like it came from some super expensive, specialized analytics software. But what if I told you that you could build something this powerful with a tool that's probably already open on your computer? Well, you can. And today, we're going to see how to go from that raw, messy data to insights that are this clear and powerful.
So, to kick things off, I want you to put on your detective hat. Seriously, think of yourself as a data detective. Your whole job is to find the clues, the patterns, the trends, the stories that are hiding in plain sight inside your data. And that spreadsheet you've been using, that's your magnifying glass.
Okay, so what is spreadsheet analytics really? What are we even talking about? Well, simply put, it's the art and science of making your data talk. It's about using all the tools at your disposal, formulas, functions, charts, to turn a wall of numbers and text into a story that you can actually use to make smart decisions.
Right, so any good detective will tell you the very first thing you do at a crime scene is secure it. You organize the evidence, because if your evidence is a mess, your case falls apart. It's the exact same thing with data. Before we can find any clues, we have to bring our data from total chaos into perfect clarity.
Oh boy, yeah. Does this look familiar? I bet it does. It's that sea of columns and rows, full of typos, duplicate entries, weird formatting. It's a nightmare. This right here is where most analysis just dies before it even gets a chance to start. But don't worry, there's a way out of this mess.
And here's the game plan. It's a three-step process. First, we use data validation. Think of this as setting up the rules of the road, preventing any new bad data from getting in. Then we do the data cleaning. This is just like it sounds. We're getting rid of all the junk, the duplicates, the typos, the blank cells. And finally, data transformation, where we shape and mold the data into the perfect structure for analysis. You got to remember, you can't have reliable insights without reliable data, period.
Okay, so our data is squeaky clean, the evidence is organized. Now the really fun part begins, the interrogation. This is where we start using the tools baked right into the spreadsheet to ask our data some tough questions and get some real answers. So let's grab our basic toolkit first. You know these guys, sum, average, and count. They give us those quick, high-level answers. But the if function, that's where things get interesting. It's our first real logical tool. It lets us ask the data what if and get an answer back automatically. These functions are the absolute bedrock of asking questions in a spreadsheet.
But that's all fine and dandy for a few dozen rows. What happens when you're staring down a spreadsheet with, 20,000 rows or 200,000? Your basic formulas are just not going to cut it. You need something way more powerful.
Well, let me introduce you to the absolute superstar of spreadsheet analytics, the pivot table. This thing is a game changer. Imagine taking 50,000 rows of messy sales data and in about 3 clicks, turning it into a perfect summary of your top products by region. That's the magic of a pivot table.
And this is where it gets really cool. A pivot table is awesome for crunching the numbers, right? But when you connect it to a pivot chart, suddenly that data comes alive. The best part is, as you drag and drop and filter your table, the chart updates instantly. It makes exploring your data a visual, interactive experience.
All right, so we've done the hard detective work. We've cleaned up the scene, interrogated the data, and we've got our insights. But a list of numbers is not a story. To really make an impact, you have to present your case in a way that people understand. And that means visuals.
First up, the old faithful, the bar chart. It's simple, it's classic, and it works. You need to quickly compare your sales across different products or see which marketing campaign performed the best? Boom! The bar chart gives you that answer instantly. Now, what if your story is about change over time? Like, how did our website traffic grow over the last year? That's where the line chart shines. It literally connects the dots for your audience and shows them the journey, the ups and the downs.
And for showing how all the different pieces make up the whole thing, well, you use a pie chart. It's perfect for showing things like market share or how a budget is broken down. One look, and you get it.
But for the real deep dive detective work,
Finding those hidden connections nobody else sees, that, my friends, is the job of the scatter plot. It helps you answer questions like, does spending more on ads actually lead to more sales? It's all about revealing those subtle relationships between two different things.
You know, sometimes you don't even need a separate chart. You can make the data itself scream for attention using conditional formatting. Think of it like a set of smart highlighters. You can set up rules to automatically color the highest or lowest values, add little progress bars inside the cells, or even use icons to show if a number is going up or down. It guides your audience's eyes right to what matters most.
So, we've cleaned our data, analyzed it, and visualized it. We're pretty good data detectives at this point. But what if we could get ahead of the game? What if we could make the spreadsheet do all the repetitive work for us? It's time to level up with automation.
Think of this as your automation power-up ladder. You start on the first rung with macros. They're amazing. You just hit record, do a task once, and then you can replay that entire sequence with a single click. When you need more power, you climb up to VBA. That's an actual scripting language that lets you build totally custom tools right inside your spreadsheet. And at the very top of the ladder,
You have API integration. Okay, this is the holy grail. This is where your spreadsheet stops being a static document and becomes a living, breathing command center. It can automatically pull in live data from other websites, sync with your company's sales software, you name it. Your spreadsheet becomes the central hub for everything.
look, at the end of the day, all that data you're sitting on, it has stories to tell. Amazing stories. It knows where your next big opportunity is, what risks are just around the corner, and what your customers are really thinking. The tools you need to hear those stories are right there, waiting for you. So the only real question is, are you ready to lean in and start listening?